If you are curious about the transportation management systems or TMS, the leading options for 2025, that's what we are going to discuss in this video. So let's start.
Growing a business requires a holistic approach that extends beyond sales and marketing. This approach needs alignment among people, processes, and technologies. So if you're a business owner, operations, or finance leader looking to learn growth strategies from your peers and competitors, you're tuned into the right podcast. Welcome to the WBS Podcast, where scalable growth using business systems is our #1 priority. Now, here is your host, Sam Gupta.
Hello everyone, my name is Sam Gupta. I'm principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent analyst and advisory firm. We help our clients with a lot of different research that we perform, and this particular list or the quadrant is part of that research. Along with this research, we help with the technology selection, change management, technology strategy, etc. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is going to be your top 10 TMS systems in 2025. Before we look at the list, let's understand different variables that are going to be applicable for this particular market segment as well as the list. Let's first understand the market segment. So here we are only looking for the best of breed TMS platforms. So any of the TMS modules that are going to be part of either WMS or ERP, or it is going to be some sort of add-on, then those do not qualify for this. It has to be part of that TMS category, transportation management system category, that is agreed by the major analyst firms. So this is going to be that. Then as part of this list, we are looking at companies of all sizes. So if you're looking for a solution in your market segment, then you need to pay close attention to the commentary for each of the solution, because sometimes this list could come across as very generalized just because we are sort of clubbing all of the market segments together. So sometimes that might not be relevant for all of the market segments, but we try our best to provide the size intel with each of the solution, which solution is going to be the better fit for which particular market segment. So just because a solution is #1 does not mean that it might be #1 for you. So pay close attention to the comments as I go over this video. Again, the industry could be another layer, which is extremely important when it comes to finding the right solution. So we try our best in providing the commentary related to the industries, which solution is positioned where they do well, where they struggle, etc. So pay close attention to that as well. Then other layer that you need to keep in mind is some of the solutions are designed for 3PL. That's a completely different beast. And the shippers, especially from the TMS perspective, they are going to have very different TMS needs. If you are going to use a solution designed for shippers for 3PL, you are going to struggle. So again, pay close attention to that as well. The whole geo as well as the different modes. Some of these solutions may be designed only for specific geos or the modes that matter for this particular category as well. The rating, scheduling, fleet management, those are going to be some of the other layers that we will touch. Driver compliance could be a great capability as well. Some of the solutions that are going to be designed for trucking, etc., they are going to have very heavy component of driver compliance. But the solutions that are going to be designed for slightly more international supply chain, they might not have those layers as rich as the international custom functionality is going to be another variable. Some solutions have, some solutions don't. So pay close attention to that as well. Some of the variables that we have utilized to compile this list is product share, acquisition strategy based on TMS, product roadmap, community ecosystem, win rate, technology strategy, as well as investors. So these are some of the factors that we have combined to compile this list. So now let's look at the list. Number 10 on our list is C.H. Robinson or Navy Sphere TMS. And this is going to be ideal for companies that care for C.H. Robinson's managed services. So there is one layer that we have not touched in the initial commentary is this whole idea of independent versus not independent. So some of the platforms that we have on this list are going to claim that they are independent. What that means is that they are not going to have any sort of conflict of interest. At least when you are going to look at the whole shipping marketplace, there they are not going to be a preferred vendor, just because not only they are providing the technology, but they are also providing the network as well. And sometimes how these companies are going to counter that is that they are going to say that if you are going to have CH Robinson, then you are going to get the cheapest rate through us. But then you have a little bit of conflict of interest there overall from their perspective. So you might need to keep in that mind. And that's why the whole independent versus not independent layer matters. So in this particular case, let's say if you care for CH Robinson's managed services, they are going to have very deep capabilities from the supply chain perspective. If you care for that, then it could be a great fit. Some of the other strengths to keep in mind is that the network strength of CH Robinson is going to be one of the strongest, just because they are one of the major players. They are going to have other players in their network as well. But again, that's going to be slightly limited from the CH's perspective. Sometimes there are going to be political factors that other vendors are not going to participate in their marketplace. So you need to keep in that mind. But the network strength is very strong in general of CH Robinson. Other smaller players might not be able to match that. The supply chain industry expertise, and again, supply chain industry goes very deep. So if you care for that industry expertise, then yes, CH Robinson is probably going to be the best fit for you. The kind of supply chain services that you are going to find through one vendor, that's a huge plus with CH Robinson. Now, some of the limitations to keep in mind is, again, the conflict of interest that I mentioned, and it's not a pure TMS solution. So those are some of the weaknesses, and that's number 10. Number 9 on our list is Trimble TMS. And Trimble is going to have very similar positioning as your CH Robinson. They would fall under that non-independent category. But Trimble TMS in general is very well penetrated into that trucking 3PL industries. So the whole idea of your driver compliance, the GPS capabilities, etc., the telematics, the maps, all of those capabilities are going to be very strong, but they are going to be weaker from the international TMS capabilities, international modes, etc., geos. Those might be slightly on a weaker side. So again, if you are focused on the trucking capabilities is what you care for, then this is going to be a great fit. Some of the weaknesses to keep in mind is their technology may be legacy. It's just not as modern, not as cloud native. And then their focus from the industry perspective is going to be limited as well. And again, not fully independent. So those are some of the weaknesses. And that's number 9. Number 8 on our list is Descartes TMS. And Descartes TMS is going to be relevant for companies that care for the analytical data, international supply chain, etc. That's where they are deep. They have a lot of different data products that they own. So that's going to be a huge plus for them. Some of the other strengths to keep in mind from the Descartes TMS perspective is that they have managed services available, just like your CH Robinson or Trimble. But again, the managed services might not be as strong as CH Robinson, just because CH Robinson is probably the consulting company. Descartes is not necessarily a consulting company. They are still very TMS-centric company. And then you are going to have a TMS solution with international data analytics. That's where their sweet spot is. And the options for multiple market segments is going to be another benefit with them. They have a product for the mid-market, and they also have for the enterprises as well. So many different products in their portfolio. So that's probably going to be a plus for them. The limitations to keep in mind is that, again, this is not the fully independent category. So you have a little bit of conflict of interest from the pure technology perspective. May not be SMB friendly. Again, the solution is much bigger. So it's going to have very enterprise grade capabilities. But let's say if you're looking for slightly more easy to use solution, SMB friendly, you might not have as much implementation budget, etc. Then this might not be the best fit. And it's not going to be a complete suite from the WMS perspective. A lot of other solutions on this list are going to have WMS capabilities tightly coupled with TMS. Some companies care for that. If you need that, then this might not be the best fit. So those are some of the weaknesses, and that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is Kerber, and they have many solutions in their portfolio as well. So now they have Mercury Gate. So if you look at their capabilities, that is going to be for any companies that care for that cloud native TMS, but their suite is going to be as comprehensive as some of the other solutions. For example, if you compare this with Blue Yonder is going to be a great fit in the enterprise space. This is probably a better fit in that mid-market. And again, they have their cloud native capabilities. So the technology is going to be superior. The fleet management as well as the last mile capabilities that are strong with the solution. So that's going to be a strength. Then you have the claims management capabilities. They have acquired many different solutions in the recent past. So now it's a complete suite as such from the supply chain perspective. And they also have the claims management capabilities as part of their suite. So those are some of these trends. Now, limitations to keep in mind is that it is probably going to be limited to North America. They might have exposure to some other geos as well. But again, it's not as comprehensive as some of the other global solutions that we have on this list. And then it's probably not going to be as well integrated with some of the other platforms, such as, let's say, if you look at WMS, etc., and then you are going to have limited reporting capabilities. So those are some of the weaknesses to keep in mind, and that's number 7. Number 6 on our list is 3G TMS or PageJet. And these two are two completely different products. 3G TMS acquired PageJet, which was a slightly more cloud native add-on. They were penetrated into a lot of different mid-market ERP systems from the shipper perspective, and that was Acumatica, NetSuite, Infor, etc. They did really well. 3G TMS was a TMS designed more from the trucking perspective that was very well penetrated into trucking companies, 3PL, etc. So now they have combined these two solutions together, but the 3G TMS technology is still going to be very legacy, clunky. PageJet is going to be slightly more modern. So those are going to be some of the challenges. Now, the strengths to keep in mind is, number 1, it is very SMB friendly. It's a very small product. So that's going to be a huge plus if you're a small company and you don't require a very bloated product. A complete shipping solution targeting both shippers as well as 3PL. So they have both of those capabilities, which is a huge plus for them. And then ideal for light TMS needs. If you don't have very heavy TMS need, then again, this is going to be a solution. Some of the limitations to keep in mind is that not enterprise or integrated suite. So it's very limited overall from the suite perspective. It's not going to have the other buckets of the suite that you are going to find with the other solutions. But here you are looking for best of breed TMS, and then you have to find the other capabilities. Sometimes integrating them might be a challenge. But again, if you care for best of breed TMS, if that is the only thing you are looking for, you can probably remain siloed. You don't have to integrate that, etc. Then this is going to be a great fit. But if you care for integration with the other suite, then you need to look at other options. May require add-ons for advanced capabilities, as well as the user experience is probably going to be patchy. So those are some of the weaknesses, and that's number 6. Number 5 on our list is E2Open, and they have acquired many different companies as well. For example, Blue Jays as well as Cloud Logistics. So this is going to be beneficial for companies that are looking for the complete suite, including your network, your planning, as well as your execution. And those 3 layers are going to be suitable from the supply chain suite perspective. But here, if you care for all of those capabilities along with your TMS, then this is going to be a great suite. So the strengths that you're looking at, number 1, overall from the network perspective, it is one of the richest. It supports all of the modes, all of different geos from the global reach perspective. So you are going to have all of those capabilities. If you are going to be heavy in that international supply chain, then E2Open is going to be as comparable as your Blue Yonders of the world. So those are probably going to be 2 solutions that most enterprises are probably going to be looking at. And then the whole supplier collaboration-centric capabilities are going to be much deeper as well. Now, depending upon your architecture, where you would like to keep these capabilities. Some companies like to keep these capabilities inside your ERP. Some keep it inside the supply chain suite. So again, depending upon your architecture, depending upon your business model need, these things could vary. But if you care for that, then E2Open is going to be a great fit. The limitations to keep in mind is that it might not be as complete as some of the bigger competitors, just because it's a newer player in the market. They have come a long way. Their capabilities are far deeper from the enterprise workload perspective, but it's just not as complete as some of the other competitors. It's a very big solution. So it's not going to be SMB friendly. So if you're in the SMB space, this might not be the solution that you might want to look at. And obviously, it's going to be very expensive as well. Their ecosystem is probably limited right now, especially from the consulting based perspective. So those are going to be some of the challenges. And that's number 5. Number 4 on our list is Manhattan Associates. And for the most part, if you look at Manhattan Associates, they are known for their WMS capabilities. They have some TMS capabilities as well. It's just not as deep, it's not as detailed. So some of the strengths that you are looking at from the Manhattan perspective is if you are already going to be on Manhattan for either POS, WMS, and the other component from the suite perspective, then this is going to be slightly more integrated. But again, their TMS capabilities are not necessarily as deep, and Manhattan is going to be relevant for retail grocery centric business. So if you are going to be in those industries, then you might want to evaluate them. Other industries might not be as relevant for Manhattan. The limitations that you're looking at from the Manhattan perspective is that the TMS is more of the add-on. It's not for SMBs, and it's probably going to be expensive. So that's number 4. Now, number 3 on our list is SAP Transportation Management. SAP Transportation Management is ideal for companies that are going to be on SAP S/4HANA. It is part of that SAP S/4HANA suite. But when you compare this with some of the other leading solutions, for example, Blue Yonder, then they might not have as deep capabilities, especially from the international supply chain perspective. Their ecosystem is probably not going to be as developed. So most of the companies, when they are looking for best of breed capabilities, they might go for SAP S/4HANA as the ERP, Blue Yonder as their WMS, TMS, etc. But if you require everything from the SAP portfolio perspective, because you are going to have far more alignment, integration is going to be superior just because it's coming from one vendor and you have to manage one vendor, then this could be a great fit for you. So some of the strengths to keep in mind is pre-integrated with SAP Suite, ideal for large enterprises, and these large enterprises, if you're going to be multi-billion dollar business, then you are looking for that. And ideal for complex business models when you are going to have many different business models, retail, distribution, 3PL, etc. All of that is bundled as part of your business model. Then for those business models, this could be a great fit. These smaller solutions may not be able to support all of those business models. So sometimes you might run into challenges, but if you have complex business model, then this is going to be a great fit. The limitations that you need to keep in mind is relies on Descartes for the carrier communication. And again, SAP is going to have many different add-ons as well. So sometimes companies care for those best of breed capabilities depending upon what they want to go for. So all of those players are going to be in SAP ecosystem as well, but they don't have these capabilities natively as part of their platform. And it's probably going to require a lot of add-ons if you are doing apple-to-apple comparison with your Manhattan as well as Blue Yonder. Their capabilities are going to be far deeper. So that's probably going to be a risk for you and not suitable for SMB companies. So those are some of the weaknesses to keep in mind. And that's number 3. Number 2 on our list is Blue Yonder. Blue Yonder is ideal for enterprises seeking very comprehensive suite, especially if you care for that international supply chain and you have enterprise grade scenarios, not only for your internal supply chain, but also for the external supply chain. So the strength that you're looking at is the comprehensive supply chain suite. Along with TMS, you have some of the other components, especially from the retail perspective, it's going to be really strong. For other industries, they may have several components, but they are not going to have deep capabilities. For the other verticals, for retail, sometimes manufacturing as well, they could be strong. But again, depending upon what architecture you are trying to build, things could vary, but for the most part, they are going to have very strong supply chain suite. Other strengths to keep in mind is it's ideal for enterprises. So for the most part, if you have very complex enterprise scenarios and enterprise business requirements, then you probably should go for that. And then it does have global supply chain capabilities as well as control tower. So those are some of the strengths. Now, the weaknesses to keep in mind is that it's probably not for SMBs and not ideal for standalone TMS needs. If you have that, you are probably going to get a lot of boilerplate that you might not appreciate. So if you're looking for a standalone TMS, you should probably go for some other solution. And then it's probably going to be very expensive as well. So those are some of the weaknesses. And that's number 2. Number 1 on our list is Oracle TMS. And Oracle TMS is very well adopted, especially among enterprises, just because of the enterprise grade capabilities. It's also going to be a great fit for companies that are already going to be on Oracle Cloud ERP, but Oracle has been used and proven with other vendors as well. When the companies are going to be on other ERP solutions, they use Oracle for their TMS. The strength that you're looking at from the Oracle TMS perspective is, number 1, it's going to be pre-integrated with Oracle ERP. So if you are going to be on Oracle for their ERP, then you probably want to go for Oracle TMS as well, just because of the alignment in technology, and then you are only dealing with one vendor. But again, depending upon what your preferences are, sometimes companies care for best of breed capabilities. If you care for that, then you can explore some other options. But here, your experience is going to be far superior, just because they are going to be tightly integrated. You are not going to have as much vendor conflict as you may have with the other solutions, especially if they are not going to be accepted as part of the Oracle ecosystem. Some of the other strengths to keep in mind is ideal for retail and transportation-centric industries, as well as the global supply chain capabilities and control tower are going to be some of these strengths. Some weaknesses to keep in mind are, it's probably not for SMBs. Again, it's a very enterprise-grade solution, not ideal for standalone TMS needs, even though you might find Oracle TMS installed as a standalone. But if you care for that, again, you are going to get a lot of boilerplate, etc. So it might not be the best fit, but depending upon what you look for. And it's also going to be very expensive. So that is something to keep in mind. So that's it for the TMS list. If you enjoyed this video, we are going to include a link that is going to have much deeper analysis. That includes an article as well as a report. So if you care for that, download that. We publish these videos on a weekly basis. So you might want to hit subscribe on YouTube. This podcast is also available in the audio form on any of your favorite podcasting platform. Finally, if you have not checked our digital transformation report, we are going to incorporate that as part of this video. So you might want to download that, check that out, because we include several of these quadrants, the research, as well as the rankings that we are covering as part of this video. They are covered as part of our digital transformation report as well. So you might want to check that. On that note, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the WBS podcast. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. For more information on growth strategies for SMBs using ERP and digital transformation, check out our community at WBS.rocks. We'll see you next time.